if you are an Indian stock trader, you are probably wondering right now, is this a good time to buy? Is this a good time to just sell? Or is this a good time to hold? So I'm going to answer those questions for you, technically analyzing the market and just kind of giving you a better perspective on where the market is at right now. We don't predict, or I'll try my best not to predict and tell you what's the best thing to do. I recommend you do your own research on it, but I'm going to just help you out and brainstorm with you different ideas that you could try while the market's at such a volatile stretch. So if you remember the previous video that I had a video maybe about a week or so ago about the Nifty 50, and I did say the market was probably around this stage at back then. So since then, I did mention that the market would touch the yellow, which is the 50 period moving average line, which it did, and it went strongly below it. So I'm going to now analyze a little shorter time frame. This is the monthly time frame, and as you see, today is the 20th, so it's about mid of the month. There's still a lot more that could happen, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time digressing the monthly yet, because there could be a lot of momentum that could happen. I'm going to step into the weekly charts and see what that would tell you. So I'm going to zoom in now. As you can see, the market did drop during the 2020 March of 2020 pandemic, and since then recovered pretty well. It's been holding its ground on the 20 period moving average line. It touched the 50 period moving average line, bounced back, and this is something that is very peculiar. So see, what did it do? It touched the 50 period moving average line, and this is on the weekly, bounced out of it, touched the 50 period moving average line. So this kind of formed a small double bottom, and since forming the small double bottom, it's now touched over the the purple 50 period moving average line and has gone below. So what the market's doing is that it's trying to hold this the purple line, which is the 50 period moving average line, as support. It tried doing it once, it tried doing it the second time, but it did not or could not hold on to that support there. So it managed to go deeper to the extent that it fell through the support. They could not hold it. How do you tell, or what's a candlestick interpretation that the market could not hold on to that support? Is when you see the next candle close below that particular line. So for example, if this particular candle was it's open here and closed here, something like that, or if it was just such a big candle just from here to here, that would indicate that it broke through the support, which did not happen here. That's why you saw a good strong rally. Even though it was less than the previous high, it was still a rally. And this candle, or this week, is where the market said, oh, I cannot hold on to this particular support. So this was a very strong, significant support. A lot of the Indian traders keep an eye on the 50 period moving average line to baseline if it's a good time to buy, if it's a good time to sell, and it just broke through. So now this support, which was something that was a support here, has now become a resistance, and the market's touched this and it could not break through one more time like it did over here. So the market's now falling through to this level. So what does this mean? Where's the market headed? So in terms of the monthly, the market has already crossed through this yellow period 20 period moving average line. So if you look back in history, the market can actually go down a lot more before it starts to rally up again. So that's something that to keep in mind in this particular scenario as well. So what the market could do, and I'm just saying could, it's just an educational guess, is the market could either step down further towards the 200 period moving average line and then bounce back, or the market could start rallying towards the purple line, but it depends a lot on if it can break the purple line again. So let's give you a little more insights into a shorter time frame, because right now on the weekly it's in no man's land. So this week will tell you where it's heading, but let's look at the daily and the 4 hour to tell you a little bit more. So if I look at the daily now, the market does seem a little overstretched. markets generally don't tend to free fall. Like you can see here, it free fall, and then it stretched back to the 20 period moving average line. So same thing happened here. It free fall, it's far away, and now it's heading towards the 20 period. So that's where I do predict, again, an educational prediction that it's going to head towards the 20 period moving average line. And let me just open up the 4-hour time frame as well. So the 4-hour will then also confirm that the market seems to be a little overstretched outside the 20 period moving average line territory, and it's going to be heading towards the 20 period moving average line soon. If it falls, it may fall, but I don't think that it won't go or stretch so far away from it. So as you can see, like this was like a stretch that it fell, and then it comes back. So this is another stretch that it fell, and so it's just a matter of time, maybe another drop a little more before it starts coming back to it. To your question, is this a time to buy, is this a time to sell, or is this a time to hold? So in my analysis, as of where I see it right now, my educational guess is that it is not a time to buy, definitely not a time to buy. Is this a time to sell? Yes, you could, but if you are a short seller. But be a little careful, because the market seems to be already overstretched. So if I'm looking at the market today is not a good time to sell, because it's already overstretched and it may come back to the 20 period moving average line. Is it a good time to buy? No. And is it a good time to hold? I would say yes. Like you could hold on to whatever you have. Do not average any of your positions right now. This is not a good time to average, because the market seems to be in a decline. Whatever you average, you lose more money into the process. So that's just my advice to you out there. If you are trading, try and see, stay away from like the markets right now. If you're not already entered into it and are not bleeding red, stay away from it, because you might end up with more losses than you can. And there doesn't seem to be a good market that you could step into except for oil or energy. So those are the only couple sectors that would give you some kind of gains, although like it's not always like smooth sailing there too. It is volatile. Like if there is one good news that comes out from the war in Russia, you'll see all your investments into the oil sector also crumble, because it'll bring the oil prices down a lot. So yeah, just keep that in mind as you decide what you do next, and do stay tuned. Like I will give you more updates as this week progresses into what to expect from the market. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you can make some positive decisions, or at least get an education into what the market has based on the technicals. So I'm not looking into too many different types of technical indicators. I think a lot of information that's available by just looking at the charts will give you a good perspective of what to expect from the market. So I hope that was helpful, and do stay tuned until my next video, and I wish you all the best in your trading journey.